The Four Kingdoms series by Melanie Sellier is a series of fairy tale adaptations that take place in the same setting. Each book is told from the perspective of a different princess who is linked to the others through blood or marriage. As a result, most of the princesses have brothers, and every book contains a romance, including the ones based on fairy tales that did not originally contain love stories. The universe also consists of a realm of fairy godmothers who live in the Kingdom of Light and correspond to all of the magical elements of the stories. The series is complete with 5 novels and 2 novellas. Currently, Melanie is working on a sequel series called Beyond the Four Kingdoms, which takes place after the Four Kingdoms series and has 3 books out already. The Princess Companion is a unique take on The Princess and the Pea about a woodcutter's daughter named Alyssa who seeks refuge at a castle on a stormy night. Due to a misunderstanding, she spends the night in the princess room, where she notices something uncomfortable under the mattress but is too polite to say anything about it. The king and queen are impressed with her and offer her a job as the royal princess companion, taking care of their 2 twin daughters, Lily and Sophie. Alyssa just happens to be very skilled at reading people and telling stories, which she uses to her advantage. The rambunctious young princesses take to her instantly, and she uses her made-up fairy tales to teach them proper behavior. Overall, this was not the best modern fairy tale adaptation I have ever read, but it was still enjoyable as far as princess novels go. I was very impressed by how fast the pacing was in The Princess Fugitive compared to The Princess Companion, as well as the heightened levels of suspense. Perhaps that was because it had a more interesting main character. Princess Ava was actually the villain from The Princess Companion, but she goes through a great deal of growth in this book to redeem her past mistakes, making her easy to relate to. Overall, The Princess Fugitive is an exciting story with an intriguing heroine that is superior in almost every way to its predecessor, The Princess Companion. It has lots of action-packed adventure, fun characters, suspense, and a little mystery. Though The Princess Pact is the 3rd full-length novel in the series, the 2 novellas, Happily Ever Afters and A Midwinter's Wedding, act as the perfect bookends to link it to the 2nd and 4th novels, respectively. I was pleased to find that the pacing and suspense in both these novellas were fairly consistent with The Princess Fugitive, and the links between the protagonists made each story feel more welcoming than the last. The more I read the series, the more it feels like coming back to visit a beloved land instead of exploring a strange and unfamiliar one. The Princess Pact, my favorite book in the series, tells the story of Marie, who was first introduced in The Princess Companion as an ally to Alyssa. She is a princess who never quite looks as much like a princess as she is supposed to. In this book, she learns why that is. It's a whole lot closer to the story of Rumpelstiltskin than The Princess Fugitive was to Little Red Riding Hood. Marie's mother is the miller's daughter who married into royalty when she demonstrated that she could spin straw into gold, and Marie is the child who was promised to Rumpelstiltskin in return. I enjoyed the romance in The Princess Pact even more than The Princess Companion or The Princess Fugitive. Marie falls for a handsome adventurer named Rafe, who helps her to locate Rumpelstiltskin's rebel camp. Rafe and Marie have an adorably awkward chemistry when they first meet. Their feelings toward each other become more intense as they become entangled with Rumpelstiltskin's schemes and must work together as spies. The Princess Game reads like a James Bond movie if James Bond also happened to be a princess. Instead of foolishly pricking her finger and becoming inactive for the rest of the story, the Princess Game flips the script of the Sleeping Beauty story and makes the heroine doubly active due to her curse. Princess Celeste leads 2 lives. The effect of her curse requires her shrewd mind to appear to be asleep in the public eye. In private, she is the kingdom's spy master, uncovering plots against the crown through her many agents within the castle who are unaware of her true identity. While it is a bit of a stretch that the curse could be altered so much from death to sleep to a mere inconvenience, it still makes for an exciting story. The Princess Search, the surprise 5th and final book in the Four Kingdoms, is about Evie, the dressmaker who is hired by the royal family. It was no more the story of the ugly duckling than The Princess Fugitive was Little Red Riding Hood, but the lack of predictability only made the story feel more enjoyable. The setting felt both familiar and new at the same time, because most of the other books in the Four Kingdoms had a side character who was a prince or princess of Lanover, but since the main character in this book was not royalty, she had traveled to parts of the kingdom that the readers have never seen before. It was particularly nice to see the rambunctious youngest princess Celine again, who played a large role in both the Princess game and A Dance of Silver and Shadow from the Beyond the Four Kingdoms series. Since all of her sisters had married off, she was eager to find wives for her two brothers so she could have girlfriends in the castle to play with again. The Beyond the Four Kingdoms series tells the story of Sophie and Lily, the young rambunctious twins from the Princess Companion, when they're all grown up and go on adventures of their own, with A Dance of Silver and Shadow and A Tale of Beauty and the Beast. The most recent release, A Crown of Snow and Ice, just came out and has a new review on the Princess blog telling the story of Celine, the younger sister of Princess Celeste from the Princess game and the best friend of Evie from the Princess Search, as well as Sophie and Lily. You can find reviews for all of these books and more on the Princess blog, linked to below. Happy reading! That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching my channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which princess or princesses you'd like to hear about next. Check the video description for all relevant links, and remember to always follow your dreams.